Hi, my name is Daniel Rogers. Welcome back to video number 18, I believe it is, in our series in Lent. Today we're going to be looking at 1 John chapter 3 and verse 10. He says this, "The children of God and the children of the devil are revealed in this way." Again, this is going to help us further define sin and righteousness in the context of 1 John. "All who do not do what is right are not from God, nor are those who do not love a brother or sister." What's he talking about again? Faith in Jesus as Messiah and love for one's brother or sister. If you look back to 1 John chapter 2, he identifies the Antichrist as the one who denies the Son and who denies the Father. You have to confess the Son and confess the Father also. And so doing what is right is confessing the Son. Not doing what is right is rejecting the Son. Because again, claiming that Jesus is Messiah is a huge political stand in the first century. Because by saying Jesus is Lord, you're implying that Caesar is not ultimately Lord, or any of his lordship is only derived from Jesus's lordship. And if you're saying that Jesus is Messiah, then you're rejecting any zealot or revolutionary claims to being the son of David. He goes on and he says in verse 11, "For this is the message that you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. We must not be like Cain, who is from the evil one and murdered his brother." And why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil and his brother's righteous. This here is the ultimate warning. Brother is not to rise up against brother. And these rebellions that were going on during this time, these civil wars that were breaking out across the Roman Empire, that were breaking out within Jerusalem, you didn't just have Jews versus Romans. You had Jews versus Jews, the Zealots versus the priests and the Pharisees who wanted to keep things intact and to stay with their allegiance in Rome, just as they demonstrated in the rejection of Jesus and the trials of Jesus, where they said, "We have no king but Caesar." So you had civil wars breaking out across the empire. You had 1 year in which multiple emperors came into power. Was it 4 emperors came into power in 1 year? You had cities falling and fortresses falling and armories being destroyed and cities being surrounded and the people in it just consumed. And he says, you can't get caught up in this. Those who commit murder are doing so not because their deeds are righteous, but because their deeds are evil. They might say that their power and their strength and their might is a demonstration that God is with them. He says, but this is not actually the case. Why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil and his brothers were righteous. Falling to the sword isn't always proof that the one who's fallen to the sword is righteous, but it can be a proof that the one who has fallen to the sword is righteous, because Jesus says on multiple occasions that we're to follow him to the cross, that we're to follow him into martyrdom, if that be our calling. All right, that's going to be the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one.